With Senate Bill 309 enacted, what is the effect on solar energy in India? Kelly Wilkinson /Indistar. Members from Green Alternatives Inc. Install a solar panel system in Carmel, Tuesday, October 31, 2017. Photo, Kelly Wilkinson /Indistar, by photo. When Sen Brand Hirschman, Arbuck Creek, crafted the much-debated legislation that phases out an incentive for rooftop solar, he looked at the plummeting price of solar panels and decided that the incentive was no longer needed. Now, that assumption may change. President Donald Trump will rule by January 13 on a pending tariff case brought by a U.S. manufacturer. Such a tariff would drive up the cost of solar panels imported from abroad. Depending on its size, the tariff could have a cooling effect on an industry in India that is already wondering what a future without net metering will mean for business. The India solar market is particularly sensitive to these kind of price changes, due to the low cost of electricity in the state. Just the suggestion of the tariffs had an effect on the market, according to Colin Smith, a solar analyst for GTM Research. There was a rush to buy modules, which caused the prices to rise a bit. Suva, an American company that manufactures solar panels, filed the tariff case with the International Trade Commission in May. Their request would have doubled the cost of solar panels imported from overseas, which would have devastated an industry that has been growing rapidly in recent years. In November, the ITC made recommendations much lower than what Suva had requested. That was a relief to Phil Teague, who owns solar installation companies in India and California. Teague predicts that, if adopted, the ITC's recommended tariffs won't have a devastating effect on his business. President Trump, however, is not required to adhere to the ITC's recommendations. The administration has not commented publicly on how the president may rule, but details about the case suggest that he may be in favor of tariffs. The bulk of imported solar panels are manufactured in China, a country widely criticized by the Trump administration as having an unfair trade advantage. We can no longer tolerate these chronic trade abuses, and we will not tolerate them, Trump said, speaking during an Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in Vietnam in November. Hirschman told Indistar that, should federal policy affect India's solar industry, it could be worth it for legislators to revisit the policy he authored in the future. Hirschman announced his retirement from the General Assembly this month. I think that if the underlying assumptions used in the analysis of the payback period was significantly changed by federal activity, Hirschman said, it would be appropriate to take a look at it. The tariff case comes at a time when India's solar market is still reeling from a new law that phases out an incentive for residential solar installation. Part of the law included a grandfather period that expires at the end of the year, which sent Hoosiers rushing to overwhelmed solar installers who then had to turn some clients away. The incentive, called net metering, dictates that ratepayers with solar panels should be compensated for the energy they produce at the retail rate rather than the wholesale rate.